Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from NFL playoffs to pro and college basketball, UFC, MMA, and much more. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. With live betting options, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. BetOnline is truly the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV to receive your rewards. BetOnline.AG, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother Teja Dash. Almost all-star breaks are almost there. A couple more days till that. How are you guys doing? How do you guys like what you see from Jalen McDaniels so far and what you saw from our guy Matisse in Portland?
Go ahead, Teja.
I like it. Okay. Well, Jalen McDaniels had a good game. I'm happy with that. Let's talk about Matisse doing that. So, do you have like a bit of that quote that he said, Marcus?
Yeah, I pulled it out just for you. So they asked him after the game how he felt in Portland. He said, first thing was I felt comfortable. I didn't realize how much you can take that for granted to feel and know that I'm wanted and needed and the coaching staff and players have my back. I think it showed in just my ability to play and be more of myself.
So you're going to go up to a mural of yourself on the wall in Philly, make a whole big production out of like saying, thank you, Philly, and sign your name on it, and then leave and say that. That's a big shot. It's not like it was dysfunctional.
He's thanking Philly.
If you hate where you're from, I don't know if you're gonna put that. Kyrie wasn't signing "Thanks Brooklyn" on any murals, all right?
And he definitely didn't feel comfortable in Brooklyn.
That's not feeling comfortable. What the hell? I mean,
being in Brooklyn and being for the Brooklyn Nets are two different things. That's what I'm saying.
No, but
Philly and the Philly Sixers are two different things.
You mean besides he was saying thanks fans?
Yes.
What are you saying?
Yes.
Isn't
that why most people post that stuff?
I just don't see where there was never any. I mean, we don't know could fill a book. That's first. So we don't know what's going on really behind the scenes. I never would have thought Matisse was unhappy. I never heard things about us pressuring him to get vaccinated. Some of this might be where that's from because people were pretty rough on him. But if anything, it was the fans that were rough on him for not getting vaccinated. I didn't hear any teammates say anything about that. I didn't hear any coaches make some like snickering comments about him not being available for a big playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Go ahead. You finish.
No, I was just gonna say I just don't. I mean, it seemed kind of like it was unnecessary. Why do you have to say that kind of thing? Unless it was that bad. I never got a sense it was that bad. I never picked up on that. Like sometimes you can see when things aren't right. People knew Simmons and people were having issues for a while. And you can, as an observer who watches most of the games, I've done all the games, you could see that. You could see that there was something wrong there, right? But I never got that from Matisse, and he said teammates. I never got any kind of issues. Didn't NB just say that he wants him to stick around? I mean, what opportunities did we not give him? We gave him plenty of chances to shoot 31%. He just shot 31%. You shot 4 of 6 with Philly more often. You'd still be here, dude. I mean, it's not like you were doing that every night and we traded you. You weren't doing that here.
Yeah. Well, you're right. I think you're right in everything you said. I'll be a little devil's advocate.
Please.
For the sake of the conversation.
I love that.
One, we do not know what goes on in the locker room, what was said. We do not know the relationship with the coach. If you do not think that a coach help you with your confidence or helping to destroy your confidence doesn't matter, you're kidding yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Doc did that to him. I'm just saying a coach can say things or do things or play you a certain way that can diminish your confidence. A teammate, it could just be one or it just be a couple. But if it's one that has a voice, a dominant personality, it could matter. It could be someone that's in cahoots with the coach. So I'm not saying any of that happened. I'm saying that that's very possible to make a situation uncomfortable for a guy. It can easily happen. Obviously, he's been waiting to say this.
Yes, it seemed that way.
Because he said it in game 1.
Because he had a good game
2 or whatever it is for him. But for him to be with a new team, new teammates, new coaching staff that he's been with for a week, and all of a sudden they have his back. That to me, that wasn't a they have my back as much as it was they didn't have my back.
Yes.
That's how I took it. So instead of kind of saying that, he kind of said it the other way so you can kind of draw a picture. This is how he felt for whatever reason. We just don't know the reasons, but this is how he felt. Whether they were legit and whether other people understand why he felt that way, I'm sure that the Sixers won't even address it, so we'll never know. And hopefully he doesn't talk about it anymore and he can just move on. But it's obviously those feelings were there. And it was hard to play for that. Play in that manner. So for both parties, they wanted to move on and he wanted to move on. So good luck to him, and hopefully, speaking of McDaniels, he played well. Hopefully for my wish with him is that it doesn't feel like a lateral move. That he can consistently be better than Thybulle was. That's my wish. But that'll take some time. But my wish is that he can be more consistent. He can give us a little more versatility. And he's a guy that we can play at the end of the games.
Yeah.
If that's the case and it's not a lateral move, then I would call it a success. If it's a lateral move, then it'll just stay that way. I mean,
if I was going to be devil's advocate on my own argument, I'd also say he averaged 26 minutes a game last year.
Yeah.
He had 26 Thybulle, sorry.
Yes.
He had 26 last night for Portland. This year for Philly, he averaged 12. Now, I know they kept saying, show me you're worth more minutes, but in his mind, he's like, dude, I mean, you know how much I feel
I mean, if I really wanted to be devil's advocate, and I really wasn't going to say it, but I'll say it. If he was doing what PJ would be doing, people would be complaining. A great deal. And in some ways, I think that's what he's talking about.
PJ is shooting 39% from 3, though. It's better than I thought it was.
I didn't because he's very limited as far as his takes. I'm just saying, if he was giving the team the production in every way that PJ's doing, it would not be enough.
Yeah.
But why? Why is that? And PJ's a starter, plays more consistent minutes. And what's the difference in their numbers in their minutes?
With us, you mean with us?
Yes. This season or last season.
So 33%. Thybulle shooting 33% from 3 off of, I think, 1.3 attempts per game. So 1.4 attempts a game. He was making 1.3. He was making 33%. PJ Tucker makes 39%. off of 1.7. So he's shooting a little more and making them more.
What's the points average? Rebounds average.
Man, points average is brutal. That 1-3 I talked about, that's about his average. So it's 3.3 for PJ Tucker, and Thybulle was averaging 2.7. So very close. I think he plays half the minutes. Yeah. He plays
half the minutes.
Yeah. So his per 36 would be a lot better than PJ's with points.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the expectations for him has always been higher, and that if he would have came in and he played PJ's minutes with the same production, Doc Rivers wouldn't be going to say we won this game because PJ Tucker's on the court. Mm-hmm. We didn't hear that type of stuff. So that's why I said I'm playing devil's advocate. So it's like you didn't, if you would he have said that about him?
Because Matisse also had very good plus minuses, and some of the better lineups that created the most efficient lineups, he was involved in those. So he was performing on a plus minus level, which earlier in the year, Doc came to bat for PJ about that too, saying he affects the game in a positive way.
He was defending PJ's performance.
Yes, based on plus minuses.
Yes, I'm just saying. So he was defending him. And we're saying, so what was Thybulle's numbers last year with, quote unquote, around the same amount of numbers?
More minutes? Yeah, because they played around the same amount of minutes last year as this year. 5.7 points in 25. So they played the same amount of minutes, 25. 5.7 points for Thybulle in comparison to 3.3 for Tucker.
Yes.
2.
That's what I'm saying.
2.
That's all I'm saying. And I didn't look, and I had no idea what their numbers were. I didn't even look it up. I'm just saying how what the expectations for Thybulle versus PJ with the same. It was an issue for Thybulle to average 5 points, and PJ's averaging less, but Thybulle got more criticism.
31% from 3, though.
It's still 5 points. It's still 3. It's still 5-3. What is good as 39% if you still only getting 3 points?
Yeah, because Tucker doesn't attempt anything.
That's what I'm saying. So
Tucker
if you don't shoot, if you're not shooting, if you're averaging a higher percentage and you're not shooting, what difference? How much of a difference does that really make?
The threat, you can't leave PJ open in the top. PJ open in the corner.
Are we watching the same here?
He's shooting 39%.
Did they not leave him open?
He's making about 40% a game though. So I mean, like,
he's only taking 1.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Tobias only taking like 8. So like, we have a shot problem. I mean, there's 2 guys taking.
Like, he's still taking 1. So it's all I'm saying is
and PJ's a better rebounder than Thybulle. That's not even close.
Is he a better defender?
I don't think he's a better defender than PJ is, but I think PJ can guard more people. I think PJ can guard.
I don't. I think he can guard more bigs. I don't think he can guard more perimeter players.
That's true. So yeah. So I mean, Tucker can change your lineup. You can put him at 5 for a few minutes.
Yes, he can do that.
Obviously, couldn't do that with Thybulle, but
yes.
But yes, Thybulle can also guard your 1 on switches.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's why I say he could. That's why I wouldn't say he can guard more people. He just guard bigger people.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I mean, we wouldn't be saying this if Thybulle had one of his typical.
Look. Like I said, I was playing devil's advocate. That's all
I know. Four. I mean, look, man. 4 threes to open up. I mean, he had an amazing game for them. I can't believe he did that. His opening.
We'll see if it lasts. We'll see if he's consistent. How consistent he is with the.
I told Marcus his game yesterday. He thought I was kidding. He was like, "Shut up! You're joking me." I was like, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, 1 steal, 4 threes. He was like, "You're lying." He didn't believe it. Like
I did. I thought you were messing with me.
I mean, dude, he shot 9 times in the game. when the hell is the last time Thybulle, if I look through her game log, how many times he shot 9 times in a game?
But Eric, to my point, because some Sixers fans were, just blaming Doc for, Matisse dominating in this game. And my thing is talk about being comfortable and being able to play your game. When you're going to a team that's teetering on play-in game, they don't really have expectations. The expectations for them is just making the playoffs. They're hoping Dame can do his thing once they get into the playoffs. Where we have championship aspirations. I mean, isn't it a little different? The expectations are different. You can play free in a situation where making the playoffs is a pinnacle of a season for you.
Well, the expectations are different from the team. As far as like Portland came into the season, I'm sure they would like to win the championship.
Yeah.
Right now, they want to get into the playoffs, but it's a situation where Grant didn't play, so we don't know how that dynamic is going to look when he comes back, or if he's playing for Portland. So they had some guys that didn't play that kind of created opportunities for him. We're a team that made it to the second round last year with him starting a lot and playing a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Made it to the second round. So now, did we have championship aspirations last year?
Yeah.
He played 20 minutes.
I think it would have been less if Danny Green didn't get hurt.
I'm just saying, but he played 20 minutes and we had championship aspirations last year.
Yeah.
So we come in this year with same aspirations and he plays less.
Yeah.
Because we signed PJ Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
He shot 9 or more times for Philly, 3 times in 3 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's opportunity too.
3.5 years.
That's opportunity, and I think I'm not sure if
at 2 of those games he was -12 and -11. By the way,
I'm not sure the way things were going in Philly, if the only way he would have shot 9 times from 3 is if he were making them.
Yes.
Because if he got to a certain point, if he weren't making them, then it would have turned sour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it was for a guy. So if you feel that, we feel it, he feels it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hard to do. It's hard to play for. Not everybody's is built for that.
Is that an Australian thing? We got Simmons, the same thing, the comfortable stuff. Matisse with his comfortable stuff.
It could be Australian. It could be. I know some Americans that weren't built to play in Philly.
Yeah, no, I was making a joke.
You call it whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I played there for a long time, and I know that it's not an easy place to play for some guys. I've seen guys really struggle there, like really, really. So, and they were really good. So if you can't lean on what you do well and you can't do it, that's not the time for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, regardless of what, hopefully this ends. Hopefully Matisse doesn't carry on talking about the Sixers stuff. Like, Tyreek Hill continued to talk about the Chiefs 8 months after he was gone from that organization. Hopefully Matisse ends it at this with this comfortable talk. But we've moved on. We got Jalen McDaniels, who's looked pretty good. And I've seen some people online. I was one of them who said that in the 2 games that McDaniels has played, he's created more offense than Matisse did in the 3.5 years he was there. I mean, you can just see him. I mean, he's comfortable, like actually carrying the rock and actually doing stuff with the ball. That's something that kind of stood out last night. But the first question I want to ask you guys, we got 2 new additions. Obviously, we talked about McDaniels a little bit last week, but then we signed Eric. I'm going to start calling you Nostradamus here. You said Dewayne Dedmon would be one of the best fits for us. And
Nostradamus?
Yeah.
I mean,
Nostradamus, I like that.
Like that?
Yeah, I just felt that he's seasoned and he has shown the ability to step out and shoot a 3. So I just thought he brought a little more size at the center position with the ability to kind of play with James and Maxey. So that's kind of what you look for. A guy that can, help the team and help them. Playing beside them, say for instance, Joel is out or off the court. So from that standpoint, I thought that's why I kind of thought he was the best fit. I thought either if you're looking at Cousins, we all know how good Cousins, was at Sacramento, especially pre-injury, that I felt that he was a guy that was sort of in that mode. I don't think he was as talented and as skilled as Cousins, but it was sort of that mode of a player, and it was different than what we have also.
Dedmon is also part of the process years. He came in 2014 with that team. I think Lavoy Allen was on that team. Spencer Haas was on the team. So Evan Turner. So a lot of the older guys on that team, and he's come back to play with this team. It's the big. I always talk about the process guys, but having Dedmon on here, if we do win a championship, it's nice to have a guy like that who has kind of been through the ringer with this team. But the question I want to ask you guys, talking about Dedmon, talking about McDaniels now, it seems like that's going to be our guys unless we make one more transaction. I don't know if we will, but if this is the team that we have, how happy are you guys with this roster for the rest of the season? If you had to grade it out of 100, where would you guys? What number would you guys give it?
I think we're better than we were last week. I think more than anything, we still got to play. Like I think that we're good enough to beat Milwaukee and Boston, and we're still to the point where we can lose to Cavs and the Knicks or Brooklyn behind us.
Yeah.
But I do think that we have enough. So to me, if you're good enough, if you have enough, I think if you have enough to beat Boston and Milwaukee, you have enough to win a championship, because I think those two teams right now are the best and playing like the best in the whole NBA.
Yep.
And Denver's leading the West, and we've shown we can beat them, even though we haven't went to Denver yet. That's going to be a different game, but we've shown we can beat them at home. But if I'm confident that we can play with Boston, well, I'm confident we can play with Boston at home. I don't know about on the road yet. But you never know. So we get on the run here, we may only have to see one of those teams.
Yeah.
Which would be terrific.
I wasn't as happy about the Dedmon signing as you guys are. I prefer Noel, but as one of our subscribers said recently, he speculated on more. He probably received word that Noel was not going to be bought out and he would not be available, which certainly could be a possibility. It makes sense. I don't know, man. I don't think we're going to hand that job to Dedmon anyway. So I don't think he's going to come here.
I mean, at the end of the day, Joel's minutes are going to have to increase for us to win.
Yeah.
So getting another serviceable guy that's bigger, that can possibly play 8 to 10 minutes, is necessary.
Yeah.
Because if you go and I just that's all I said from before. Like, I didn't think this was a situation where whoever's coming in here should be playing 15 to 20 minutes a game anyway. Like, it shouldn't even be like that.
Yeah. No, it's true. Other than a lengthy 3-and-D player and a better backup center, which I wanted, I'm pretty happy with the team going forward the rest of the season. I think there was only so much we could do and change in season, especially with all the tax talk and avoiding the tax bill.
And without giving something up, too. I mean, it's hard to improve if you're getting rid of someone. So I didn't think that they were into making a drastic move. Like I said, if Joel's playing as well as we think, and he's an MVP and MVP candidate, you got to think that you're capable of beating anybody. If that's the case, if guys are average or better, we should be beating anyone. James has been playing great.
Yep.
Get Maxey to be more consistent to the way he was pre-injury, which takes some time. Tobias to be average, a little better, just be average.
And Maxey's still adjusting, right? So I mean, I give
we got a chance. So it's a different role. So Melton I think Melton needs to develop more into the 3-and-D. That's basically how he's being played.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I think you have enough. You have enough to beat those two teams. I think you have enough to win a championship.
I think McDaniels too. He looked great. I mean, he was second in our team in bench minutes. And it's exactly what I think Morey said he wanted to give Doc, someone off the bench that he could play without worrying about not contributing on one side of the team, on one side of the offense or defense. He wanted a guy who can, at worst, be serviceable both. Where obviously Matisse's minutes showed that they just didn't trust him.
You can trust him both ways.
Yeah, they just didn't trust Matisse, and if they don't trust him now for 12 minutes a game in the regular season, he wasn't going to play in the playoffs.
He wasn't going to play at all in the
playoffs. Nah. So I mean, it was a great trade for them if they're like, we got a guy I know right now we're not going to play that much in the playoffs.
I mean, all those guys are going to get shots in the playoffs. Like I've been telling you guys like before about double teams. You're seeing how many more teams are starting to double Joel and starting to double him hard. That's how the playoffs is going to look. Like nobody's going to allow him to just play. It's not going to happen. So he's going to have to start getting down on that post and getting the fadeaway, do something, getting that ball deep and going straight up before that double come or something. And stop falling. I know y'all like the way he fall all the time.
I like the way he falls. Hey,
y'all like him and his falling coach and all
I prefer him falling this way than falling worse ways that we've seen in the past.
I don't want him falling at all. I want him to stay up, right?
That ain't going to happen. He fall, man. He's like, oh, man, he was
y'all like that. Y'all like the fact that he had a falling coach. Y'all thought that was like really interesting.
Let's put it this way. MB was falling more than the Eagles DNs against the Chiefs in that Super Bowl, all right?
Oh, my goodness.
After you brought that Morey comment that, Morey said we wanted a guy who could, was serviceable at both ends. You know what? I take back what I said about Thybulle's comments. Thybulle can't have his own retort to what Morey said. Morey pretty much said he's unplayable at one end, and that's why they got rid of him. So you know what? I forgot that Morey actually came out and said that. So, I mean, let Thybulle have his moment to say something as a retort to that. I mean,
yeah. I don't even think it was. I mean, that's the thing. So if he gonna say that publicly, imagine how they treat him.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's not like it was a grudge and they didn't play him out of spite. He wasn't improving where they needed him to improve, so they can't just keep playing.
He didn't get a real opportunity this year.
This season, nah, I don't think he did. I think he earned a little more playing time. He earned it at least getting around the 20-minute a game.
You didn't give him a chance to come in and say, hey, he can't do this and that. Like he wasn't getting a chance. It's like Bergman, he's a shooter. Like his minutes has been inconsistent. So you got to make a shot. If you want to make a shot, you got to let him play, let him get shots. If he played a lot more, he'll make more shots.
Yeah.
But if you're playing like a roller coaster, you never know what you're going to get.
There's only one game this season where Matisse, for us, played more minutes than McDaniels played for us in his second game.
That's crazy.
I mean, that says a lot.
I think they were done with him after the playoffs last year with the whole vaccination thing. And then
I think they came into the season and once they got PJ, he was not in their plans.
Yeah.
So it was either a matter of before the trade deadline or this summer, regardless, he's not in our plans. And that's all it was. And that's fine.
Yeah.
If you're moving on, you're moving on. Let's just let it be about that. It ain't got to be what you gave Doc and all this other stuff. Like that stuff is just like Thybulle's comments wasn't, if they weren't necessary, then Morey's comments weren't necessary.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Just we like what he does. We like what he does on our team and this and that. Just move on. But
yeah.
He also complimented Thybulle a lot too, for the record. It wasn't just a slaughter fest.
Yeah, but compliments backed up. I mean, what's the essence of it though? He's talking about the guy.
I mean, like the old saying go with your kids, you can give 7, take 7 positives from 1 negative. Something like that.
I mean, he didn't even need to say anything. A guy was getting 12 minutes a game. It's obvious they weren't trusting him. So I mean, the proof was in the minutes. That's one thing about basketball.
And that's what I'm saying. So if you're Thybulle and you're his agent, and you play less than 12 minutes a game, whatever, 12 minutes a game, and the guy that they wouldn't got out, their big signee, is playing way more than you and playing the minutes you played last year, it giving you less production. Would you all not have an issue with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. So it could be a contract issue.
Yeah.
Contract. In my contract year, you're playing this guy more than me.
Mm-hmm.
And if he continues this, then he'll be right. I guess we'll see.
It won't be the first time somebody was wrong. If that's happened, I mean, the way it goes, I mean, that's Portland's decision now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just because if he had success in Portland, it doesn't mean that the Sixers kind of
fumbled it.
It's just, like I said, like not everybody can perform in Philly. It's not made for everybody.
Yeah, I just think it becomes under more of a microscope with these fans, the Sixers fans on Twitter, because they blame, Morey and Doc for, blowing it with Isaiah Joe and Charles Bassey. And then now I think they're saying if we bring in Dewayne Dedmon.
Now Bassey, but Isaiah Joe, like, should have, for the team that we have, he should have gotten an opportunity.
Yeah.
But he's only playing 15 minutes a game for OKC. How many minutes was he really going to see with us?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying for a guy like him, for what he does, and we're talking about shooting, he should have gotten an opportunity. He never got one.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like I was an Isaiah Joe when I was in Seattle. Never really got a true opportunity. And it was a team that was winning and had championship aspirations. So I get it. I know how that looks. And then I go to Philly, and then all of a sudden, hey, he can't play. So is it you can't play, or is it you didn't get an opportunity?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, like, he didn't get a true opportunity.
Yeah. So
that is on Doc and Morey. That right there is on them. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is on them if a guy doesn't get an opportunity and goes somewhere else and has success.
So he played 4 less minutes a game for us last year.
I mean, he playing, but how many? Like,
Shot
I can't even
12 less percentage points at 3,
but no meaningful minutes. He didn't play meaningful minutes on a consistent basis.
No,
it's consistency. You know you're going to play. You know where you're going in.
So why isn't he playing more? 15 minutes is not that much for a team like OKC.
But he know he's going in. It's consistent. He can prepare himself mentally and physically, emotionally to go in and do it. He know it's coming.
Most of his minutes for us.
And then he's also encouraged to shoot the ball. Do what you do best. Shoot when you're open. So all of that encouragement, and that's sort of what I was talking about when I feel like they have my back. But if you're going in, one time you go in the first quarter, the next time you play 10 games from there, you may go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he wasn't in a rotation.
It's no rhythm to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So you like if the guy's playing like that, like to have expectations on them, you kidding yourself, really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's shooting 45% from 3. He's having a lights out season as far as shooting goes.
Yeah, good for him. And I think sometimes
what else did we envision him doing?
No, that's it. That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
No, that's it. I'm saying it's great. It's great. I mean,
the way they're playing and the way they use him, that's sort of the Vinnie Johnson way. Like that's sort of how they looked at it.
5 threes a game in 15 minutes. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, if we didn't cut him for him to go to OKC and do what he's doing, what he'd be doing, getting for comments on our bench right now, not actually playing. So I mean, it's in the long run, it's better for him than So
in some ways, they just basically did him a favor.
Yeah.
Thing is, with our injuries in the first half of the season, he would have gotten major minutes, man.
Yeah.
He actually would have had a lot of minutes. That damn Furcon contract got stuck.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see what happens with that. There's potential we could buy him out. That's what I've read, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Okay.
All right. So All-Star break coming up here. So just want to get your guys' mid-season kind of grades on the entire team. So we'll go player by player. So we'll go starting 5 and then Maxey. So Embiid, what would you guys give Embiid's grade going into All-Star break?
A+.
A+.
Yeah.
I'll go A.
Ooh, no plus?
No plus. I want a little more quarter-to-quarter consistency. Sometimes Embiid still pulls the you can see he's not as into it sometimes, and other times he is. Usually when it's a nationally televised game. I'd like them to dominate more inferior opponents.
Eric, you have been A+. Is there anything he can do second half of the season can get him into the I don't know what he could do better than an A+?
I mean, he's an MVP candidate. He had a big time game on the stage against the 2-time MVP, and he dominated. That's what he's done. He's dominated all year long. Like that's what you want from him, and that's when he's averaging 30-some points, and like what else is he gonna have to do to get a plus? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, some of the stuff, like I would love for him to be a better rebounder.
Yeah, that was also my
defensive rebound. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think some of that is like I gotta always remember how big he is. And he's not like the motor kind of guy where he just go and get a lot of stuff outside of his reach. Like he's not that type of player.
That happens to us a lot. The ball's like right there, and no one's just grabbing it.
Yeah, he's not like
the
a lot of
ball.
the guys. And Dennis Rodman was special, but Dennis Rodman got so many rebounds. What they call it, like outside your reach, like so many rebounds outside of that sphere. So Joel isn't that type of guy.
He's not an aggressive rebounder.
Yeah, I don't think he's that type of guy to go out of his reach and consistently get those balls, and that takes some energy too. And I think he's asked to do a lot for us.
Yeah,
my expectations for that isn't as high.
I think we got like Tucker for that reason. It was like Tucker, all those balls.
But that's what I'm saying. And I think that's something others should also be doing. So.
We'll get the others right now. So James Harden, what would you guys have his midseason his all-star grade report?
A.
I think he's been exactly what we want him to be this year. I mean, I think the stats we predicted for him preseason, like 22 and like 11 or 12, are pretty much right on.
I'm not sure I picked 20, but I knew it was something. I think you
were a little below that.
I think I was like 19 and double figure assists or something like that.
Yeah. What would you guys both have A's? What could he do? What kind of extra credit could he get to get an A+?
I mean, James, I think with James is a little more consistency on defense. I've seen James do it. And it's going to be needed. I mean, schedule gets tougher and you get into the playoffs. So not letting teams go at him defensively or put him in situations defensively that hurts the team.
I agree with that. I'd say offensively, keep driving. Don't just settle for those. Don't just dribble back
to the free throw line a little more whenever you can too.
Don't just wait. Don't just dribble back there. And we do these things too. I noticed that he'll dribble, and if he loses his dribble for a little bit, it's like he starts from the top again. Like he starts the entire set again. It's like you only got 8 seconds left, dude. You need to hurry this up. And then he like steps back for this like wild 40-foot shot, and you're like, that was our possession, 35 dribbles and a 40-footer. Like, come on, dude. Like we need, get. The more you drive, even if your intent isn't to actually get the shot up, the more space you'll have for another pullback three, right? But if people are only watching you do the step back, they're not going to ever think you're going to drive on them. So just be more aggressive at times. That's all. Again, he's got A. So
yeah. He's popping the midi more so than we thought. What we want him to do.
He is.
So
yes. Just continue that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Tobias Harris, this is one who started off hot. First quarter was pretty good. His second quarter, not so good. So where do you guys have his grade as of right now?
Boy.
This one was the toughest one for me. I ended up with a B- for him. Because I think he's C. I think he's averaging out. But I thought he was a B+ or so to start the season.
Yeah. I had him at a B+ about, a month or two ago. But he's just struggling so much right now. He's just not playing with urgency and no flow. It's like he's thinking too much. I almost get this since he's thinking way too much, man. Like,
yeah, I also think that moving Maxey to the bench has affected him.
It should be a good because he should get more shots up now.
Not necessarily. He's not though.
I know that's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Moving Maxey to the bench has not affected him. Moving Maxey when Maxey was starting, Maxey's speed was creating more opportunities, whereas Melton is basically playing the same way him and Tucker are playing. Like all three of those guys are playing the same way. They're spotting up, and we don't give Tobias those looks. But Maxey was doing so much more that it wasn't like we so he could be more of a spot shooter. Like look how many like threes and wide open threes and corner threes he was getting when it was just him and PJ in that starting line. He's not really getting those. Like Melton's getting way more of those than PJ was getting. So Melton was getting those ones PJ were getting. So those clean looks are like not coming as much because Maxey was attacking and moving and getting in pick and rolls and James, they're standing on James, they're standing on Joel. So the court was the opportunities were more. But now you basically got 3 3-and-Ds. I mean, no matter how we like Tobias, we know he can do more, but the way he's being played is just like no different than PJ Tucker. We just give him a little more touches.
He's passing up on open threes too now, too. It's just like just let it rip, man.
But that's why his game isn't just to be a 3-point shooter.
Well, tell a friend I'm a sharpshooter. You're going to say that on national television?
I think he's shooting like 27% since that quote. So someone did the numbers on that. Since he said that at post game, he's shooting like 27% from three.
Oh my!
Tell a friend I was full of shit.
Oh man!
And the other night he had we were watching. I was so disgusted. Spencer Dinwiddie on him. Oh, come on, man. You not only do you have like 6 inches on him, you have like 30 pounds on him. Like, Tobias, I've seen you be more aggressive against guys that are your size.
Mm.
Why are you letting him like not let you get your post position and just do a turnaround jumper on him?
Mm.
It's weird, man. Guys go through ebbs and flows. I think he's got a lower confidence right now. He just needs to get it back. Like Max, same way.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I've noticed from a lot of fans online is that the whole when he gets a shot, he pumps it, then dribbles it, and then passes it out. It's like, dude, you have an open look, just take it. But I mean, he'll turn around. Hopefully, we're gonna need him. Next guy, so we kind of talked about earlier, PJ Tucker. I'm just curious to see what his grades for you guys. I guess expectations are involved. What kind of season we thought he was gonna have? What does he have right now going into All-Star break?
This
He
was almost as tough as
Tobias.
C. I think he's been as advertised defensively. Offensively, you would like to see him make more threes, but I think some of that is attempts. I think with PJ's experience and what he's accomplished, my expectations for him in the playoffs is higher.
Yes.
So I believe that he'll have a bigger impact in playoffs than we've had at that position.
Yeah. I put C+, and I think playoffs will really define what we got him for. His defense has been good. 3-point shooting has been good, 39%, but he's only shooting like 1 a game. To me, the reason why I didn't give him a plus was he just had too many games where he was scoreless. Yeah. I think I'm grading him down because of his rebounding. I wanted his rebound to be a little better than that.
Yeah, that might have helped him get a C.
Yeah.
Because I'm just saying, based on the expectations, in some ways he hasn't met them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think
if we came into this season and we were like, everybody was trying to sign him and we signed him and he would say he's going to hit 1 3 a game, there's no way you would have been like, that's a great sign. That's what we need. As long as he's rebounding and playing defense, all we need is 1.
Mm-hmm.
No way we'd have came into the season saying that. That would have been okay.
It's his second lowest rebounds per game since 2012. So, wow. It shows. It shows too. So I definitely noticed it. Some of those 50-50 balls that he was getting, especially against the Sixers in that Miami series, he's just not getting them. And again, like I said, playoffs. Let's see what happens then. Like if that average goes up to 5 or 6, because he's averaging 3.9 right now, then
I mean, the Sixers were just leaving him. Just like when he played with Milwaukee the year they won the championship, like teams were just leaving him and they were putting small guys on him.
Yep.
So his rebounding, especially his offensive rebound, picked up because of that. They were just leaving him and they were putting those small guys. So to make those small guys pay, you make them box you out.
Yep.
He's a good rebounder. He's a good rebounder.
And by the way, I didn't say this with Tobias. It's his lowest points, rebounds, and assists per game since he's been in Philly.
Damn. Well, that does kind of make sense.
Well, the assist doesn't surprise me, but yeah.
Does it make sense? We've had a lot of injuries this year.
Nah, James.
He's been the number 2 or 3 scoring option for most of the season, actually.
Yeah, but he's not. I mean, we got he's not going to have a lot of opportunities to make plays with James and Maxey. He's not even going to have the ball that much.
But those two guys missed a total of 2 months.
Yeah, then you got Shake and Melton. We just have too many guys that he's not going to really have those opportunities.
Mm. Well, speaking of DeAnthony Melton, this is kind of everyone's biggest surprise of the year for everybody. What he's done for us. What do you guys have? How is he graded out so far?
I had a B+ for him.
Hey, I give him an A.
Oh.
He completely.
I gave him B+. I thought he has come in and done what he was supposed to do. You know, the 3-and-D and defend and making some shots. Almost gave him an A-. I think that it was, he just. I think he was. What's the word? Especially early in the season, I think he was a little just, you guys go ahead. I'm just going to chill, where he needed to be a little more aggressive. I think eventually he got there. So that's what kind of pulled me from the A, because I thought he was a little kind of hesitant initially.
Yeah, I'm going A. I mean, solely based on the fact if you told me that he would unseat Maxey in the starting 5.
Well, I don't think that was because of his play.
You think it's more because of Maxey's?
No, more because of the team.
Oh, the team needs what we need.
Yeah. I remember I told you.
If he's struggling, we wouldn't. I mean,
to me, that's a team decision, not a Maxey and Melton decision.
Mm-hmm.
True, but he's still playing well enough to do that. It's not like we gave those minutes to Thybulle instead, right? Melton still.
Yeah, he played well enough to be a starter. Yes, he did play well enough to be a starter, but Maxey also didn't play bad enough to be taken out of the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. If you look at his stats compared to last year with Memphis, they're almost identical.
Yes.
10.8, 10.6. 0.5 blocks, 0.5 blocks, 1.4 steals, 1.8 steals, 2.7 assists, 2.7 assists, 4.5 rebounds, 4.2 rebounds. But the crazy thing is he's playing 6 more minutes a game, but he's also playing on a team where 2 guys shoot the ball about.
That's what I'm saying. So those numbers, that can be deceiving when you play on this team, because those opportunities to have the ball and score the ball isn't going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it makes sense. He's sustaining it because.
Plus, he also played a lot of those games where he started when Morant didn't play.
It's true.
That's true. Yeah. And he's averaging.
That can push your numbers up a little bit.
He is averaging almost 3 more percentage points at 3-pointers. So he's shooting better. He's becoming way more consistent shooter. And this would be, if he keeps over 40, he's shooting 40% right now. That'd be 2 out of his 5 years over 40% 3-pointer.
Hey, that's why we got him.
Yeah. So yeah, A. I give him an A.
All right, so this will be interesting. So we got Tyrese Maxey, our 6-man, potential 6-man of the year award right here.
Ooh.
What do we think about that?
He won't win it. I think everybody's still viewing him as a starter. He just started 2 big games.
Yeah.
A-.
Okay.
You can't wait for my grade, can you? You can't wait for it.
I just want to hear what you got to say before
I'm actually giving him a little less than that. I'm giving him B+.
Ah.
I I gave him an A minus.
I mean, A minus, B plus. That's like 1 percentage point away.
The reason why I gave him an A minus is I thought that the way he started the season, he almost started as an A plus. The way he
That's
started.
true.
Yeah.
Some of it was the injury. What kind of pushed me to the A minus is I still see a young guy. Like I still see a young guy that's at times situations he not reading it right. You know what I'm saying? Like when to pull back, when to be aggressive. He's like one way. So I want to see a little curve in his understanding situations because I think that's going to really help him and it's really going to help the team in the playoffs. Like, but it's hard because you don't want to take his aggressiveness away because that's sort of
who he
what
is.
he needs and what we need. So just finding that balance of when we need that pull up and transition and when we don't need it.
Yeah.
You know
my B plus was teetering on an A minus. He has struggled at times. He needs to be a little more consistent. But two things. He got his worst injury so far in his young career.
Yeah.
And he's adjusting to a new role off the bench, which he was not expecting to have. So I give him credit for that. He went through a tough stretch recently, and he said he did some I don't know if he said soul searching, but something along the same lines of finding his spirit again is what he said. And that's tough, man. Young guy who's had.
I just think it's really tough for him to play with those two guys, man. I think what him accomplishing what he's able to accomplish, playing with a ball dominant guy like James and playing with an MVP candidate like with Joel and still being able to do what he's done. That's what like I almost gave him an A plus because A plus because of that.
Yeah.
I think he's been. That's not easy to do.
No,
you look around this whole league and you see guys playing with key guys like that, and there's very few of them are having a great deal of success. You know, Drew Holiday because he does so many different things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not a lot of guys like that can still be the best at their game and be dominant along with two guys like that.
I mean, if he can pull his defense up, then he's on a whole other level.
Yeah, I never really got his defense is that bad vibe from him. Like I wasn't getting that vibe when he was starting.
No.
I don't really know where that necessarily
between him or Harden, it was.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying because James is not a great defender. He gets criticized for not being a great one. He's not a bad defender.
Who, James or Maxey?
Maxey.
No, and for being his age too. No. I'm just saying.
I thought he picked up full court. I thought he was trying.
I wasn't complaining.
I'm just saying. Like I've seen and I've read where people said he wasn't a great defender, but I never got that vibe. I never watched the game and be like, man, he struggled defensively. Like I never felt that way.
When you brought up Drew, it made me think like, man, not that
he's not Drew Holiday, but
he's not many guys
in the league that's like him. But that's why I said Drew Holiday does so many different things.
Yeah,
that's why he's able to play with a star player like that because he does so much.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying there's not a lot of guys like that can still elevate their game to that level playing with guys like that, playing with star players or top players in the league. And we got two. Yep.
I mean, he's averaging almost 20. He's averaging 19.9. So he raised his average almost 2.5 points per game. Like, in a new role.
And that was the reason why the A minus was sort of that and sort of him being a little more well-rounded. It is kind of searching for that and understanding situations, especially as we go and those possessions are more critical because they're going to start getting cut as far as fewer possessions each game, especially as you go into the playoffs. And now the way this season is shaping up, in some ways, the playoffs are going to start at the end of March, early April, with these seedings and stuff like that. Like you just never know how this is going to go. So you're going to have these crucial games and hard games, and we all know the NBA backloads the schedule because of television and waiting for football to end. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting. And we have games out west, and we'll see if we can end this season with the same grade for him that's going to be good for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. He's playing less minutes per game than last year. He's shooting more per game than last year, but a lower percentage. So
we didn't have Melton last year. That's the difference.
You'd attribute that to him probably playing less minutes, but more freedom off the bench without maybe James and Joel there.
Yeah, I mean, especially early in the season. So you got to count all those minutes before James came, and he was the primary ball handler. So that, to me, that's kind of a different look.
That's true.
To judge it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to judge it. I would judge it a little more if he was in the same role last year and this year, the whole season. Whereas now, like last year, he was the primary ball handler until James showed up.
Mm-hmm.
He's shooting 6% less free throws. I don't know.
Percent?
Yeah. That's down. But, hopefully it just averages
Getting
out.
there more or less?
He is getting there a little more. So four attempts a game last year was 3.3, and he's shooting 6% less, which is pretty considerable.
What that is. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Just coming into the season, he'll probably average out and be in the mid-80s again.
Yeah. And last one, the whole bench unit as a whole. What would you guys give the bench as a whole?
Is Maxey on that bench?
I'd say outside of rest of bench.
Yeah,
I give the bench a C. Because you got to either have Melton or Maxey on that bench. One of them got to be on the bench. I think for the most part, I think because I think Shake Milton has been better than probably we were looking at going into the year. I think they did their job when guys got injured. So that's what gave me sort of a C, is because I thought they elevated the play when guys went down.
They did step up a lot.
Yeah. So now the play during the year when guys are playing, you would like to see it better. But I think they did, from a reserve standpoint, as replacing injured guys, I think they, kind of did their job from the standpoint. I just think that it's hard for them to be as consistent when their play isn't consistent, because when they're going to play isn't consistent. From the big standpoint, I watch and you never really know which big is going to come in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. It's not like we know he's coming in, this big's coming in, Reed's coming in at this time. And we don't know. We don't really know if it's going to be Shake or we don't know.
Mm.
So,
yeah.
I thought House was good for a minute and he wasn't playing, but I just think that they made the adjustment to play other guys, and guys have had their time where they've played well. So I give it, the C is more from them stepping up when we had all those guys injured.
That's true. Yeah, I should give more credit too on that. I kind of put TBD just because Dedmon and McDaniels, but mostly McDaniels, and if he's going to be averaging minutes in the 20s, then we kind of need to see what we have with him first. But Niang's playing like Niang for over 40%. Shake raised his 3-point percentage, I think like 4 or 5 percentage points this year. He's hitting a lot more open jumpers. Our backup big is still a thing. We still, before Dedmon, we still hadn't decided on who should get more minutes. It's like every game's a new one. We still don't know. I think lately it's been Reed. I think they're kind of done with Harrell being a revolving door at defense. But yeah, if I had to give it a grade, besides the TBD, I'd say a C. I'm going to go outside of Maxey though, because Maxey hasn't been a full-time bench player. I'd say a C. They did step up big time when we needed them to, and that was huge. But when we have everybody, we have a lot of empty stats from the bench.
Yeah, a lot of hit or miss games.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so now we're going to go to game picks, then we're going to go to All-Star Game festivity picks, which will be fun. But for game picks, tomorrow night, we are hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eric Snow Classic.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Going to be on ESPN at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We are a 2.5-point favorite. Just looked at the line there. Who do you guys have in this one tomorrow night?
I have us winning, and we'll win it. We'll cover.
Do they have all their guys? Are they? What's their deal right now?
I Bleav they do.
I Bleav they have everyone.
Injury report wasn't. Let me see.
Well, Mitchell had missed some games, but I don't think it was anything
Like
consecutive.
serious, yeah.
Yeah, he's not. There's no one on the injury report except for. Yeah. Except for Danny Green, who just got there. That's a tough one for me, man. I will say. I really want to go. Oh, yeah, I think we win by like 1 or 2, man. I think it's so close. I'll say 2.5. I'll say we win and cover.
Okay,
But I'm so close on that. I think we win by 2 on the dot. Like Cavs are going for a last second victory and they miss it or something.
So you may take Cleveland to cover the spread.
Might.
Yeah. I could feel that. All right. Okay, so now we got All-Star break. We got the All-Star weekend festivities. So we just got, I don't know if you guys know the news, but we had and actually officially have a guy in the slam dunk contest as Mac McClung just got elevated to a 2-way contract. So now he's officially a 76er. So that's pretty sweet. We'll have somebody to root for during the festivities. But we'll start off with the slam dunk contest. So we have Trey Murphy III, New Orleans Pelicans, Kenyon Martin Jr., Houston Rockets, and Mac McClung, Philadelphia 76ers. Who do you guys have in that one?
Yeah, I'll go with Mac McClung. I'll go with the Sixers.
I'll go McClung. I think he has nothing to lose, man. He's just gonna go for it.
He'll be a crowd, the crowd will get behind him too.
Yeah, you got nothing to lose. You just go out there and let it rip.
Yeah. I'm curious what the betting lines are going to be on this. They haven't released them yet. The All-Star game weekend festivities. I'm going to have some fun with that. Okay, so now we have 3-point contest, which I think we've talked about on the show is pretty much the main event of this All-Star weekend now. Yes. So 8 contestants in this one. So the people are in this one are got Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Dame Lillard, Anthony Simons. So you have four guys from 2 teams. Kevin Huerter, Lauri Markkanen, Tyler Hero, Jason Tatum. So those are the 8 people.
Buddy Hield.
That's what I was going to pick.
I'm going Kevin Huerter.
I can see it.
Red Rifleman.
Is that his nickname or you just make that up?
No. It's not his nickname. It might be. Let me see.
Red Rifleman. All right. Well, that does it for us, guys. I hope you guys have a good All-Star break. We'll see you guys again next Tuesday for some Bleav In 76ers podcast. So hope you guys enjoy the All-Star game weekend. And hopefully we win Wednesday.
Red Velvet is one of his nicknames. It's even better, man. I got to say.
All right.
All right, fellas.
All right, guys, on that note, later on.